Hi guys, this is a difficult question, so I thought I'd do a longer answer. Why are cancer cases on the rise in young people? This is a question that won't benefit from obviously a short vlog, but I'll do my best and try and give you the outline of my thoughts. I'm assuming that this question, excuse me, I've got a cold, probably comes from the media coverage in the BMJ paper this week, excess mortality across countries in the Western world since the COVID-19 pandemic, because it's been covered by all of the press. You've seen it in just about every newspaper that you've found. So I'll put a link to it below for those who haven't read it. I want to wind back a bit before that, because this is a topic that's been interesting me for quite a while. And there are some other facts which must play into this, which have been going on for actually the last 3 decades. Global cancer cases in people under the age of 50 rose by 79% between 1990 and 2019, according to research. I'll put the link to that research below. Cancer deaths in the same age group also grew by more than 27%, with more than 1 million under 50s a year now dying of cancer. There is no reason to assume that this process of cancers growing decade by decade suddenly stopped at 2020 when the pandemic came along. And I'm sure that it has a role to play in the excess deaths being discussed in the BMJ. So what is going on? Why are more young people getting cancer and ultimately more young people are dying? I had a good conversation about this with Professor Angus Dalgleish, the oncologist, recently, and I think I concur almost entirely with his view. His view is that there are multiple factors at play, and when they coincide with a pandemic that saw our government lock the country down, make our health service into a COVID-only service, the result was catastrophic at the end of 3 decades where cancer was rising. These factors include an increase in percentage of the diet made from ultra-processed food, UPF. The average UK diet contains 60% of ultra-processed food, and for many this can be as high as 80%. Ultra-processed food is shown to have a linear relationship with many disease processes, especially cancer. The other damaging effect it has is to drive obesity, because it changes the brain's satiety centre and thus the eater's relationship with food. Ultra-processed food tastes good, they never feel full, and the drive to eat more forms an addiction of its own. The result is obesity on a scale we have never seen, and again this has been growing over 3 decades. Obesity in turn increases the risks of about 13 cancers. The more obese, the more at risk. To give you an example of an already common cancer, 1 in 8 women will develop breast cancer. That's really high risks. A woman who is obese increases that risk by double, and that's repeated across cancer types. Therefore, sedentary lifestyles, which have also increased, no exercise, is also driving obesity, and then heart disease and blood pressure and cholesterol. And heart disease is the biggest killer of both men and women, one of the biggest. It's not great, is it? What else, I hear you saying? So I asked Professor Dalgleish exactly what people wanted me to. Could it be all of those things, plus the COVID vaccine and COVID? And he said yes, without a doubt. He claims to have seen the rise of latent cancers or well-managed and indolent myeloma-type blood cancers, which he feels were sent into overdrive by the mRNA vaccines. Thereafter, he postulates that the mRNA in the form of boosters are increasing new cancers and affecting young people in a way never seen before. He feels so strongly that it's the boosters that he thinks that nobody should have a booster. And he also feels that mRNA technology should be halted for now, as do some other doctors. He thinks that until we have a better understanding of the long-term effects and risks of mRNA technology, because the COVID vaccine was the first time it had been used en masse and as a vaccination, he said, what's the point of a vaccine, using it in everybody, including young people who are not at risk from the disease, if it might cause a much more deadly disease? I'll post my interview with Angus on YouTube and Insta if you want to see it. It was really interesting. So I'm afraid to say, with all of the above going on, and a health service that people were literally told to protect, We're seeing a catastrophic meeting of all of these things and terrible results. And a big part of it includes people literally eating themselves to death, I'm afraid. And I know some people don't want to hear that, but unless we hear it, we can't tackle it. We need to cut down on our ultra processed food massively, move more, eat healthy home cooked food, and think about what we're putting into our bodies in the form of any medication, not just vaccines. Try and do things naturally before we turn to a medication if we can. And there are quite often solutions that we can do for ourselves. So I hope that helps, guys. It was a whistle-stop tour through a very complex subject. But I will put the interview with Professor Angus Dalglish on here and in the links. And I'll put all of those papers in the links as well. All right, take care.